Am I the asshole for canceling dinner while my husband was at work? Context. My husband owns a coffee shop that usually closes at 10 p.m., but sometimes he would close it earlier if he wants to. Tonight, my 24 female husband, 25 male, told me that we should eat out for dinner since we didn't have food at home. I said yes and suggested that we go out around 9 p.m. and told him I'll put the kids to bed at 8 p.m. with the house clean and everything. He agreed. And by 8:30, both kids were already asleep and the house was clean. I messaged him that I'm ready and if we could go now. He said that he still has a customer, and I was fine with it, and mentioned something about the food. However, he didn't respond. Then 9:30 rolled around, so I messaged him again. Nothing. At this point, I was starving and getting hangrier by the minute. I kept messaging and calling him, but no response. I was getting upset because he does this all the time. I would usually be fine, but tonight I was hungry. Plus the kids woke up. I messaged him that I was going to just fry an egg and this dinner is over. He can eat out alone. That's when he started messaging me again, telling me he was busy and he could just order me food. But I told him to forget it because I'm not going to starve myself again, waiting for him. He got upset and said that I should be more understanding because he was working, but he does this so much that I don't want to deal with it anymore. Am I the asshole? I'm not mad that we didn't go out. It was the principle of just telling me if we were going to eat or not. Edit to add. I didn't mention a lot of things that y'all wanted info about, so here goes. 1. Who was looking after the kids? This one 'cause of mass panic, lol. My dad lives with us. He usually looks after them when I'm not present. What did the kids and grandpa eat if there weren't any food? The dinner I cooked earlier that night, I didn't cook anything for me and hubby 'cause he wanted to eat out. 3. Why not have a snack? I did, but it wasn't cutting it, 'cause I was an exhausted mom that needs more than just snack at a point. Plus, if I eat any more, I would have lost my appetite. Why not just go to his place and bring food? We live in a small town. The shop was located in a neighborhood that is unsafe to walk at night. I don't have any means of transportation, and doing a 20 walk isn't really a safe option. He said he was busy with a customer. He said that around 8:30, dinner the date was 9, which was the time the customer left. However, relatives came by and he wanted to entertain them, but he didn't bother to tell me that until around 10:30. Why suggest dinner at 9 when shop closed at 10? The place he wanted to go to closes at 10, but since we often go there around that time, it has become a habit for him to message the resto beforehand. So when we arrive, the food is ready and we're out of there after 30 minutes. Don't plan a date during the work hours. I agree. Poor planning, but earlier in our convo, he was complaining that it was a slow night and should just close the shop early. AITA, what do you mean he does this all the time? I mean, he would make a plan and not go through with it. And that's not just when he's working. He would make plans with me, then be out with others, friend, family later. When our time come to do something, he would stop responding and would respond much later. 9. Ungrateful for being a beach that he had to work late, while I just sat my spoiled butt waiting for food in my mouth. I was going to ruin the business with my attitude. Where did y'all get that? I was fully capable of feeding myself, but he insisted on the dinner together. Also, why would I want to ruin a business I initially funded? I also work and am the main provider. I didn't think this info was relevant. Y'all are wild for making that assumption. The part that I was upset was not giving me a quick update, not the part that he was still working. Thank you for everyone's response. I appreciate it. I will discuss setting hard boundaries regarding set times for dates. Also, it was hilarious seeing y'all making assumptions about me. Thanks for the laugh. Edited to add. I live in a Southeast Asian country where living with a relative is the norm, hence why I didn't mention it. I honestly forgot that it wasn't the case for other countries. 2. COVID restrictions have been lifted years ago, so that's why most of the food businesses here close around 10 p.m. or later. It's normal. The neighborhood we live in isn't the safest for a woman to walk around alone that late, but that doesn't mean that a couple of people wouldn't go hang out at a coffee shop. It's not that deep. Also, I would appreciate it if you would actually read the part that stated it was his idea to close early. IDK, why y'all keep saying that? I was forcing him to close early. Lol. Hold up. Do you two go out to dinner and leave your kids home alone in bed? Yikes. I forgot to mention that my dad lives with us, and he was going to look after them while we were out. I don't know why people are being hard on you. If he can close the shop early, then why didn't he do that? When you called him at 8:30 and said you were ready, He could have turned around the sign on the door to say closed and just let customers who were already in there finish up their coffee, and then he could have closed the shop in peace. It sounded like he made plans with you, told you he was closing the shop, and then just didn't. On the other hand, if he cannot close the shop, why didn't he just say that so you could make your dinner earlier than 9:30 p.m.? And finding out after the fact that the reason he was late was that his relatives stopped by is even worse. He is just stringing you along, expecting you to wait for him hungry during the dinner hour while he keeps changing his plans based on whatever whim he has. I think he needs to do what he says he is going to do and stop stringing you along. If what he is going to do is, sorry, I can never close the shop early because I just really need the customers, then that is completely fine. You can plan around it. But telling you one thing and then doing something totally different is not okay for him to do. Suggested that we go out around 9 p.m. I don't get why this was the plan. You know, the shop doesn't typically close till 10 p.m. Why would you make plans that involve closing early? Info. BCS, the place he wanted to go to, closes at 10 p.m. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.